meteorologist Stephen Jones.
Well, taking a look at the West Viewing live stream, you can see we had a pretty great Friday out there. A good amount of sunshine, but also some cloud cover starting to push in. You can also see some of that lower level cloud cover pushing through later here tonight as well. Temperature is going to be dipping down a little slower going into the overnight hours, only down into those mid or lower 50s it looks like. At the 10 p.m. hour, we're around that 60-degree mark here in town, a little bit warmer off to the southeast, 63 in Junction as well as Menard right now, and then off to the northwest, 57 in Sterling City, the cool spot down to the southwest in Ozona right now at that 54-degree mark. So we're seeing about 9 degrees now is what we're looking at for temperatures across the Concho Valley. And when we're looking at those dew points, they're definitely still on the rise. All of us into the 50s around the Concho Valley now. 59 for Junction as well as Brady. 53 here in town, 50 in Sterling City, and the relative humidity indices following the same trend from those 80s and 90s around, going down into the 70s. But like I said, we're going to see those rising into the next 48 hours or so. Across the state, we're seeing a pretty good spread of temperatures as well, from about 72 in Brownsville into the Panhandle. We're seeing more of those 40s and then seeing a good spread of the 60s across the central portions of the state. But we're going to see more of that colder air working in going into next week. First, the moisture tracker going to show you more of those greens pushing back into the Concho Valley, especially going into Sunday. And then those blues really working into eastern Texas as well as Louisiana. That's where we're going to see most of that rainfall, but we could still see some isolated shower development as well. And you can see that here on the upper level pattern, this low pressure system going to continue to move off to the east. Then this one by Sunday could drop a nice little cold front our way, dropping us to the 60s. And then the big one comes through by the midpoint of next week. That's when we're going to see a good drop into the 50s is what it looks like. And those overnight lows could push back into those freezing marks from about the 40s and 50s is what we're looking at for this weekend and to start next week. The current national satellite showing you where that low pressure system is right over the central portions of the United States, bringing a good band of rain or a good band of clouds with it along Texas as well. And that's going right overhead for the Concho Valley, but going into the overnight hours, we're going to start to watch more of that low level cloud cover start to come into play as well. You can see that here on the Futurecast. Going to about 10 to 11, still clear in some of our western counties is what we're looking at, but quickly going into that 1, 2, 3 a.m. time frame, we're going to see plenty of cloud cover going into the Concho Valley, and even to start off your Saturday is what it's looking like with plenty of that cloud cover around the area. Then going into your afternoon, it's going to be wall-to-wall sunshine is pretty much what I'm calling, so temperatures expected to go into those lower 70s, if not those mid-70s, and then we're going to see that similar trend going into Sunday with plenty of morning cloud cover, maybe a little bit more sunshine going into the afternoon, but going to be more cloud cover Sunday as compared to Sunday, and then, or as compared to Saturday, that is. And I'd keep the umbrella handy as well. Could still see a few sprinkles going into your Sunday as well, but most of us are probably going to be staying dry, and rain totals are looking pretty minimal as that system passes through. So going into the overnight hours, temperature is going to be cooling off pretty slowly. I'm calling about 52 here in town, and could see some of that patchy fog across the area with dew points in the 50s as well. Tomorrow, going to see more of that sunshine. Temperatures, like I said, going to the lower or even the mid-70s around the area, and just feeling pretty great outside. And then if you're looking to go to view the meteor shower going into the overnight hours, I think going in these next couple hours is going to be your best bet. More of that cloud cover definitely going to be pushing in, especially closer to 2 to 3 a.m. Unfortunately, that is the peak, but still could get in on some of that viewing before that peak hits. Going into the weekend, it's looking pretty great ahead, 73, then 76. Then, of course, that first cold front hits, drops us into the 60s, but by Wednesday is the stronger one, dropping us to the 50s for Wednesday and bringing another isolated rain chance with it, and maybe those overnight lows in the freezing levels. That's all for your 7-day forecast, but stick around for more KSAN News.